If you're yelling at your child all the time, it's because you're yelling at yourself all the time. So we all had an inner child that was left untended, unhealed from childhood, where we had needs to be seen, to be understood, to be validated. And our parents just couldn't do it because they didn't have the emotional bandwidth. So that inner child is still hungry inside. And I teach how to reparent that inner child and through this inner work. And basically, it's recognizing the patterns, seeing how broken the inner child is, how the inner child lives in unworthiness and fear. And then I teach how to activate your adult self, and then how the adult self can heal this inner child and raise the inner child while you're raising your real child.
I know that there's parts of my child that I get really frustrated by, and I will say to him, come on, let's go, and he'll be starting a project or something like that, and I have to say to him, oh, that's okay, you got distracted, and having that level of compassion. But that compassion for my child didn't come until I learnt to have compassion for myself. And an analogy is like when you're in the kitchen and you pour over the milk, rather than getting really angry with yourself, can't we just sit back and say, that's okay, I made a mistake? And I think through the mistakes that we learn as humans, it really helps our children.
It's how you will talk to your children. We see how we are with ourselves in how we are with our children. How are you with your real child is how you will be with your inner child. Or how you are with your inner child would be how you are with the real child. So if you're yelling at your child all the time, it's because you're yelling at yourself all the time.
Really important conversation to finish up on is that our parents were doing their best, as you say.
Yes.
And we need to have that level of compassion for our own parents, that they were doing the best job that they can.
Tools that they have and the trauma they came from. So sure, you can be upset at your parents, but the best way to treat them is to see their inner child, their unhealed self. It's so silly to hold resentment toward them because how they were with you is how they were with themselves and how they were raised to be. So I'm not saying to let them go guilt-free, but also to carry resentment is just silly because you're carrying that weight all around. Instead, we learn to forgive our parents for all that they did not know, for all the harm that they caused. And yeah, you can create a boundary, but it's really the deep understanding that your parents were doing the best they could with the tools that they had.